Hi everyone, welcome back. For week 2 of the 2013 NFL season, I went 2-2 with my ATS picks last week. Not bad for the first week, not great. We're going to do better. Here are the picks. The first game we're going to look at has the New York Jets going to New England, where the Patriots are 12-point favorites at home. I don't know if Vegas realizes that this is 2013 and the Patriots don't have the same team that they used to. You realize that their top 5 receivers from last year are all gone. Now, the guy that they brought in to replace one of them, at least Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, hasn't practiced yet so far. This is Wednesday and they played tomorrow. They also lost their running back, Vereen, to a hand injury. He's going to be gone until week 11. I don't know who the odds makers think are going to score points for the Patriots. This is a lot of points. It's a double-digit spread here. We saw what happened last week. All the double-digit favorites did not cover. Let's stick with that plan. Let's take the New York Jets plus 12 in the first game. Second game is Tennessee going to Houston. That number's high as well. Houston are favored by 9 points at home. You saw what Tennessee did last week. They blanketed Pittsburgh's anemic offense. Still, they allowed a safety in the first play of the game and then a garbage touchdown. Apart from that, Tennessee just stymied whatever Pittsburgh had to offer offensively. The Houston Texans are coming off of that emotional game on Monday night. Could be a bit of a letdown here. They have less time to prepare for this game. I think that Tennessee will pound the ball all day. They really control the clock with that running game of theirs. I think this might be too many points. So let's take Tennessee plus 9. The third game we're going to look at has Carolina going to Buffalo. The Bills are 3-point dogs here at home. This doesn't make sense to me. Carolina lost at home last week and didn't even cover the spread. Now they're being asked to go on the road and win and cover a spread. Meanwhile, Buffalo hung in tough last week against the Patriots, losing near the very end of the game. Also, teams, even bad teams, don't lose 2 games in a row at home. I think the wrong team is laying the points here, so let's take Buffalo plus 3. And in the fourth game, it's St. Louis and Atlanta. The Falcons are 7-point favorites at home. The Rams did okay last week, playing against a team that was last in the league in 2012 offensively, and they needed a late field goal to win that game. Meanwhile, Atlanta was in really tough in New Orleans. The Saints almost never lose at home, and they were really motivated because of the return of Coach Payton. And I think Atlanta is just too strong here. They can't afford to go 0-2. 7 points isn't that much. You know what? Let's lay the points. Take Atlanta minus 7. Okay, here are my 4 over-under plays. I also went 2-2 with those last week. The first game we're going to look at, we're going to go back to the Thursday game, as the Jets-Patriots number is 44. Kind of low for a New England game, but you know, they don't have the same weapons that they used to. All of their top receivers from last year are not playing. The guy they brought in to replace some of them, Danny Amendola, is already hurt. Surprise, surprise. He may not play in the Thursday night game. Their running back, Vereen, is gone until at least week 11. Whatever firepower they do have will be stopped by the Jets. They still have a very good defense. Their offense isn't that good, but the Patriots don't have the playmakers to make some defensive touchdowns. So let's take under the 44. The second game has Washington going to Green Bay. That number is pretty high. It's 49.5, but I think the Packers will always score 30 points at home. And the Redskins defense are probably very tired after that. You know, they had to put up with the Philadelphia new offense, the hurry up offense under Kelly, and their defense might be gassed. RG3 took a little while to get back to form. He shook off the rust after the first half and put up a lot of points. I think this game sails easily over the number, so take over 49.5. The third game has Jacksonville going to Oakland. That number is 39.5, pretty low, but you know what? Let's still take the under, as I don't think either of these two teams can score very many points, so take under 39.5. And the fourth game is the Manning versus Manning Bowl. Number's 55. I don't care if the number was 85. I'll still take over. Let's take over 55 in that game. I'm going to scooch over to the side here and let my straight up plays scroll up on my left hand side, and we'll talk about some picks you might want to look at if you're in a suicide pool like I am. I survived last week as the Raiders gave Indianapolis a bit of a scare, but you know what, the better team prevailed. You might want to look at the San Diego-Philadelphia game with that high-octane offense that Philadelphia is employing. San Diego is probably tired coming off of a short week. You might want to take the Eagles, who are 7.5-point favorites. Baltimore is 6.5-point favorites over Cleveland. Didn't look that good against Denver, but that was the master, Peyton Manning, at his best. And plus Baltimore has the extra days, a couple of days rest, so you might want to take them. Houston is home to Tennessee. It could be a good possibility. They are favored by 9, but that is a divisional game. And I like Tennessee to keep that at least close. I'd avoid divisional games if I were you. Washington's at Green Bay. We talked about that. I don't think Green Bay can afford to go 0-2 to start the season. That would be a very good pick. Minnesota's at Chicago. The Bears look really good. Are 6-point favorites. However, I always avoid taking Minnesota in a suicide pool. Watch my video, and I'll leave a link at the bottom. You should watch that video if you want to win your suicide pool. And that's one of my rules, is never to take Minnesota. Jacksonville at Oakland is interesting because Oakland is actually favored by about 5.5, 6 points, depending on where you're looking. I just don't trust Oakland to win that game. This game might actually be canceled due to lack of interest anyways. The Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game is interesting. Cincinnati hung in pretty tough at Chicago last week. Pittsburgh looks terrible. I think the Bengals should win this game easily. You might want to consider that one. But the game that I'm going to be taking is the game that I talked about earlier in my against spread segment. I'll be taking Atlanta at home. They're 7-point favorites. Atlanta almost never loses at home. I think they've only lost 5 or so games at home, or actually 5 or so games in total against non-divisional foes in the last 3 years. These guys played non-divisional foes really tough. The Rams were pretty good last year in their own division, but only won 3 games outside of the division. I'll be taking Atlanta with my suicide pick. Okay, those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe and leave a comment below. For the Geo Knows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.